But you can use, I also use crystals. I have used, probably, trying to think what I have not used out there. Because I taught classes, I experimented with probably every kind of a conduit one can use. And I find, even kinesiology, I found kinesiology for me very accurate. I found I could totally control pendulums. And so pendulums for me were out because I controlled them with my mind. Right? So, but I find kinesiology I can't deceive. Even when I want to, it doesn't work. And so I use kinesiology a lot when I want to ask myself a yes or a no. And I use it, and if I think I've taught you this one, where you put your thumb and your index finger in a circle and interlock it and put your elbows up and you ask, show me a yes, show me a no. And then you ask questions and you try to break it and see what happens. And so you just, this is how, it's just, I think it's fun to experiment. Anybody can take a stone that's, let's say, has a little hook on it and put it on a chain and ask for a yes and ask for a no. And then ask questions. I know a wonderful woman, Lee Once, who is a nutritionist, a whole bunch of that use a chart with a pendulum, and they can actually direct certain things going on in your body with that pendulum. So, and pendulums are, they go back to a lot of the esoteric studies that come out of Egypt, that come out of Ireland. They're ancient. They're ancient tools. I think one of the oldest metaphysical sciences is numerology. It's older than astrology.
Wow.
Right? At one time, the very first library in Alexandria, they had, this is where all the wisest people of the world would meet and share skills. And they were metaphysicians. They were not locked in by religion, right?
Right. Sure.
But that's what destroyed them. Religion that moved across the face of Europe destroyed the temple in Alexandria in the Christian Crusades.
Right.
So a lot of these sciences, a lot of these powerful tools were buried for a lot of years. All the oracles, that's what we call alchemy. And alchemy was actually the metaphysical science hidden under that term. The perfection of the sacred metals, all right, was really the alchemical process of transformation. And so if you study but you'll be drawn, people are usually drawn to the oracle that works best for them. And I've noticed a lot of people are beginning to connect to their inner knower, and they're beginning to channel information. In fact, I have a lovely person I'm going to be talking to today who unfortunately lost a child recently and is totally connected up to that child already. Speaking to one another. And so that's going to be happening to a lot of people soon. It's not so much, in fact, people who do what I do, it's not, everybody has the ability. It's not something special that I do, it's something I wanted to do. That's the difference. If you want to do something, you practice it until you can learn it. Yes, I had a natural ability for it, but anybody can learn it. It's like learning to read. You just have to learn to pay attention to your hunches, your intuitions, and get quiet. And some people are clairvoyant. Everybody wants to be clairvoyant. Everybody wants to see. But not everybody is clairvoyant. Not everybody's clairaudient, or they hear. All right? Clairsentient are the feelers. And then the channelers just open up and let spirit come through. So there are many ways you can access the other side. And one of the first ways and easiest ways to do that is by using an oracle of some kind. I know many, many people that will, buy affirmation calendars to give themselves something to focus on in that day. And I think it's powerful. Many people will use angel cards or any form of a tarot card and do a 1 to 3 card spread each day to just say, all right, what does this day mean to me, right? And by doing that, it takes them off of a negative monkey mind focus into connecting up with something bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes it. And then we have our religious people go to prayer and they read the Bible and they go into whatever religious works that they're in. Whether they're Buddhist, they might do some of the chants that come out of Buddhism. If they're East Indian, they might do the deep forms of meditation or Kriya Yoga. And the Christians will go to the Bible, and the Jewish will also go to the Bible. So the Quran will be taken into consideration with Middle Easterners, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, it all works. And what it is just a way to connect up to spirit, right?
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. So what is your favorite oracle?
Well, let's see. I really like what little I know of the numerology stuff. I'm interested in that. I like the, I have a couple different things. I have an oracle card deck that I like when I just want, like, I usually use that if I want something, like, for the day, or for the moment. Like, okay, I just want something, what should I be focusing on right now, or whatever, and then I'll just pull from the oracle deck that I have. But then I like the tarot deck too, because I'll do those like more of a seasonal kind of thing. Like I'll do like a big 10 card spread or something just to see a little more where I'm at and where I'm headed, and and it's always good to me to like just to check in and to see like, okay, well, like, because it'll help me like pay attention to things or notice things that I wasn't really focusing on before that, and I think that's helpful whenever I end up doing that.
It breaks us out of our little mind. The little mind is kind of the trained, conditioned mind, and it's been conditioned in this life from birth, and yet it does connect up once in a while to our subconscious and our higher consciousness.
Right.
But we can get caught up in its little habit trail. It goes round and round. And so oracles will break you out of that.
Right.
Yeah. All right? And it's interesting. I was sitting here playing with my Osho Zen cards as we were talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I just divided it in half and let a card pop out. And actually, the interesting thing about it is 2 cards popped out. And it's interesting because the first one, it's called Understanding, and it shows all these birds just flying free, just soaring in the heavens. And there's this little bird in the cage, and his door's open. But he doesn't know he can go out and join them.
Right.
And it, to me, always represents that the more open we become, the more we allow our minds to explore the unknown. The more we free ourselves from our own real cages and traps. Right? Yeah. It's like the elephant that they start tying up as a young elephant. And by the time it's full grown, they can use a string and it won't move. Once the string's tied around its leg, it won't move. Because its belief is it can't.
Right.
Well, that's the same as this bird. So what it's saying to me is that we should tell them that oracles give people the freedom of understanding themselves in a much vaster way for people listening to this. And the card underneath it is silence. And that is self-explanatory.
Of course.
It means...
Of course it is.
The higher consciousness of that which you are lives in the silence of your heart. And you'll never get there if you don't get quiet.
Yeah, you really don't. I mean, that's also what those moments, like you say, it takes you out of your mind. So it allows you to stop the noise, and then you just focus on whatever is being presented to you. And,
yeah, absolutely.